Good morning, my dear friend. You still confused about that email? Okay, let's clarify once and for all. The email that you have got when you applied for a number after about mid-December. The email was not the original version that I have written, but a version edited by one of our members. Why? Because I'm a terrible writer and English is not even my second language, it's my third language. And I wanted it to sound professional. I wanted it to be polished and nice highlights and just flow. And I can't do that. If I write something, it's full of typos and misspelled words. Okay. Now, what do I not like about the new version of the email? That it was full of I, my, Lena and Goddess. Because it created this impression on the reader that this is all about serving this one person. It's not. It's about serving everybody, serving other women, serving other people, and growing through focusing on other people, letting go of the ego, using your desire to serve, converting your sexual energy into something productive and useful that everybody and you yourself can benefit from. When I say focus on other people, it doesn't mean forget totally about yourself. Love others as much as you love yourself. You are equal. See yourself as if you are just another person. There is no self-pity. There is no extra self-love. You are just like her, him, me, or anybody else in the world. And you love yourself as much as you love others. Or as little as you like others. Okay. Now, an important part of that email was, prostrations. And prostrations were there from the very beginning, even before the email was written. So, yes, they're still up. You should still do it. When you go to the dentist and the dentist tells you, floss your teeth, you don't think that you're doing it for the dentist. You're doing it for yourself so that you don't have to suffer the toothache in the future, and then your wife doesn't need to worry about, oh, we need to take you to the dentist, you can't pick up the kids from school, and so on. You are looking after yourself not for the sake of the person who gave you the advice. You are looking after yourself, for yourself and for others, to keep yourself in the best shape you can to be able to serve others better. So when I ask you to perform prostrations on the floor, lowering yourself in front of the world, in front of the screen, in front of me, in front of other people when they don't see it, letting go of the ego into the ground where I stand, where everybody else stands too. I am just the representation of the divine feminine of all women in this world, because I am one of them. And you are also part of us, yet. Okay, let's not touch this theory, as it's gonna take us into totally different direction, and that's not where we are. Back to prostrations. You know, in Buddhism, when you sit and meditate in a lotus position with your legs crossed and your palms together in front of your heart, you're not doing it for the Buddha who died a long time ago. You're doing it to gain concentration, to send yourself a signal that you are going to meditate now, to trigger that mechanism inside yourself that puts you into the state of trance, into a state of calmness. If you're used to meditate in this position with your arms behind your back, you might as well do that. But your body will react next time you sit in this position that, okay, it's time to meditate. Same with prostrations. It teaches you discipline. And a lot of us are so undisciplined in this world. You know, we always spoil ourselves. Well, today is special and tomorrow is special and the day after is special. So what is the usual routine? And we're smart and we make excuses. We love to make excuses of why certain things should not be done. And usually they are the things that are hard to do, like exercise or, say, sitting straight or stretching regularly, or doing whatever, washing the dishes right after dinner so you don't need to come back to it. Things like that. We are lazy. We need discipline. I'm not just talking about you, I'm talking about myself too. Perhaps different levels, slightly different levels, but hey, we're not far apart. And if you look at Buddhist monks in the monastery, their level of discipline is something really to look up to. Self-control and how much they can achieve. Not everybody, but quite a few, through that self-control. So the discipline is there for you to put you in the best position to serve others better. And that means growth. When you realize that you don't need to come up with a motivation for you to do something for another person. You don't need to think about, well, if I ask that person if they're thirsty, I will need to go to the kitchen, get some water out of the fridge, put it in a glass and bring it to them. But I'm actually quite comfortable sitting here, so might as well not ask them. But, on the other hand, if I do that, I will feel good about myself. Is this right? Perhaps in the beginning it is right. You have to start somewhere. You have to give yourself the motivation of, I will feel good for it, I will feel that I'm generous, I will feel that I'm not lazy, I can reward myself. Oh, well done, girl, you got up and you got somebody a glass of water without expecting anything in return. You did something for the other person. When you get over this need to motivate yourself with something that you will get out of it, next time they might bring me a glass of water. Don't think about it like that. Be above it. It's your duty to go and get another person a glass of water. And don't argue with yourself. Yes, but we are equal, so why don't they do it for me instead? I'm older and I'm fatter, so it's harder for me to get up, and they're closer to the kitchen, so let them do it. No, if you argue like that, it's going to be endless, and in the end, you're going to be still sitting down, just like the other person, thinking of which one of you is in the right position to get up and go get the water. Now, getting the water is a simple example, but sometimes there are things that are harder than that. When your friend wants to do something that you don't really feel like doing, he wants you to do something like help them move. And you think, well, I just planned to watch this new movie on Saturday, and now you tell me that you're moving. I've made other plans. I'm sorry I can't help you. And things like that. When you think about it, okay, watching a movie, entertainment, and helping other people, what comes first? Helping other people. Yes, but I already bought the tickets, or ordered the tickets, or told my girlfriend that we're going to watch a movie. How do you deal with that? You don't. You shall not come up with excuses to stop yourself from helping other people. That is your first priority. Doing something for another person, focusing on another person, being observant enough to know what the other person needs. You see, if you sit there comfortably and you think about yourself all the time, you are never going to notice or even think about that the other person might be thirsty, might be hungry, might be uncomfortable, might be cold, might be too hot, and so on. Might be lonely, might want to talk about something, might have a worry that they need to discuss. There's an unlimited number of issues that can be going through another person's mind. No, we can't see inside the mind, but we can observe and ask the right questions that open people up for the sake of knowing what can we do for them. And focusing on other people, you don't need to wait until they ask you for something, and you don't need to wait until the charity letter comes around to put the coins in there. You have to find it yourself. It is work. Yeah, that is work too. to see what others might need. After a while it gets easier because you feel it. You are the first in the crowd to notice that the other person has a need that you are in a position to satisfy. Be it a mental need, a spiritual need, or a physical need. Physical are the easiest to see because we are physically the same as everybody else. So if the weather is hot, it's likely that everybody else in the room will feel hot as well. So switching on the fan or the air conditioner perhaps is the right thing to do. And if you're the first one to get up and do it, then hey, you've done something for the others. No, not to feel better about yourself. It comes back to you. If you don't wait for it, if you don't let go of the desire to calculate, if you let go of the desire to get something in return, it all comes back to you anyway. And in larger quantities too. And that's not a promise, and it's a fact. How it works? Ask Mother Nature, but it does. And going back to prostrations in a minute. Yes, prostrations. When you do something on a regular basis, say every morning and every evening, it helps you get back into the pattern where you are focused on some task, some thought, some idea, some ritual. And prostrations in particular will get you back on track when you're trying to make yourself, to change yourself into thinking and focusing on other people. So every time you do this, and remember what it was, forehead down to the floor, hands above your ears. This is the lowest position on the ground that you can think of, right? It doesn't really matter how you do it. This is my way of doing it. From standing, you lie down, elbows down, hands above your ears. It can also be like a full prostration. Full body prostration. Whatever feels comfortable, whatever feels right. First, it enhances your circulation. If you remove all the spiritual and mental meaning out of it, it is also good for you physically. It is better than sitting down in front of the screen and doing nothing. You can listen and perform 3, 4, 5, 10 prostrations while listening to the video. Blood circulation. You're turning your body kind of upside down, right? You are moving your joints. You are stretching. You're stretching your back. You're stretching your arms, legs, and neck all at the same time. This is great exercise. Now, on a mental level, you are getting yourself into a pattern where you look after self-discipline. You do something every single day, every single morning. Doesn't matter if you wake up late or if you're tired or if you don't feel like it, you still do it because you promised yourself to do it. Just like you brush your teeth, just like you exercise, just like you make your bed and brush your hair, and whatever else you do, shave. It is part of your routine, part of your daily routine. Very good one too. Spiritually, you have a higher aim in life. You have a philosophy in life, which does not have to clash with your religion, although most religions will teach you that you should do to others as you would wish others to do to yourself. Right? It's basically the same thing. By serving the others, by focusing on others and thinking about others, you wish that others would do this to you too, because it feels right when somebody cares about you. You can't say, no, I don't want anybody to care about me. Of course you do. You don't want to be alone, or you'd be in the mountains living in a cave and avoiding people like their fire. People, we need each other. And we need to care about each other. And focusing on others means that you will get the same in return. So we've covered prostrations. Supplications. It's basically another version of Prostrations. And I know it had Lena and Goddess in it. Doesn't matter what you say, as long as you say it on a regular basis. Corner time. Corner time is about another way to meditate, to reflect on what you have experienced in that day. And that's why I always ask you to sit in a dark corner quietly. And it doesn't need to be a corner, it can be a wall, facing a wall. Why? Because facing something dark and plain will not distract you. You're not looking at your phone, you're not looking at TV, and your thoughts and mind do not leave your body into that fun TV program. You're thinking, oh, somebody just sent me a message. No, you're looking at the wall, something plain and simple, at a curtain, at a blanket. Yeah, like that. To reflect what happened during that day. What have I done right? What have I done wrong? Where can I change? What do you think the people around you experienced when you served them? Did you see any reaction? Did you receive any positive feedback? And so on. That's why corner time is important. More important than watching the evening news on TV. You will not die if you do not see how many bodies were not found out of the Korean boat. If it's 29 or 28, it doesn't matter. News are there to keep the TV channel going, not to make us happy. They're there to make us unhappy most of the time. And depressed too. Because there's hardly any good news. Yes, you need to keep track of the events that happen in your country, economy, and so on, and all over the world, but it's not that crucial, and we watch way too much. Self-reflection is much more important. Evaluation. You don't know where you're going unless you stop and say, okay, let's see where I am at the moment. It's like looking at the map. Am I on the right road? Am I getting off? Am I too much to the right, or am I too much to the left? Getting back. This is your dark corner time. This is your wall time. This is your curtain time, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be in a lotus. It doesn't have to be sitting down. It can be standing. It can be lying down, as long as you are aware of you trying not to let your mind be distracted. Concentrate on whatever is flowing through your mind, not following it like this. When there's a thought going through your mind, you do not follow it with your consciousness. You let it flow. See, my eyes are still focused on, say, the wall, and imagine the camera is the wall now, and there's a thought going through my mind. It doesn't work like this. Oh! No, then you get distracted. The thought will flow. Many different thoughts all the time. You can't blank yourself from all the thought processes unless you're a monk with 80 years of experience. But hey, we're not monks. Just let it flow. Just let it flow. Don't cling to it. Don't grab it. Don't try to catch it. Don't look at it. It's there. There's another one. There's another one. Oh, coming from this side, and this side, and this side, and that side. Oh, this one seems really interesting. And then that will happen at first. It's like, uh-oh, I'm just looking at the thought. I'm trying to think it. I'm trying to actively participate in that thought. Let go of it. Come on. Yeah? Yeah. 15 minutes, 20 minutes, however long you need. What are you going to notice? You're going to notice that, oh, that's a good way to deal with stress, which is physically good for you, mentally good for you, and spiritually good for you. So all I'm asking from you is not for me. I'm just a dentist telling you to floss your teeth. You're not doing it for the dentist, you're doing it for yourself and for the rest of the world. Prostrations, corner time. Don't confuse it with service. Don't say, Lena, I'm doing prostrations for you. Lena, I'm doing corner time for you. Whatever you do, you don't need to tell me that you have done it 3 times already. It is fine. You're not doing it for me. You're doing it from my advice, because you, with your superior brain, realize that that's an interesting thing to try. Because you're open-minded and you want to try new things and see if you gain anything from it. See how it feels. See how it contributes to your growth. If it doesn't, you don't do it again. If it does, if it gives you a new experience, you can repeat it. Then you evaluate. We all have 24 hours in a day, yet does this give me more pleasure and more energy and more results, or does watching the evening news till the very end give me more pleasure, more energy and more results? Perhaps the evening news will give you more pleasure, because it's sitting there in a chair, passively, not doing anything, not making any effort. You don't need to think about not grabbing onto thoughts. You don't need to think about concentrating on returning your mind to a neutral state. You just sit there and observe whatever is happening on TV. It's all like chewed food for you. Feed me. You don't want to eat chewed food, do you? I don't want to eat chewed food. I want to chew it myself. I want to feel the texture of it. I want to taste it. Okay. Is the confusion still there? Well, if it is, it is. I can't do anything about it. Okay, bye.